Dawson Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the classic legendary Black Lion from 1984 Voltron. I just did the review for the other four where I hadn't found this yet, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to be before I found it, because it took a minute between the Legendary Defender ones, and then I found this the next day. So if all goes well, this will go up the very next day. So that worked out, but I kind of like that this ended up being structured in the same way as my Legendary Defender reviews for the sake of just symmetry. I don't know. So like I'll probably just structure any further things like this. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about formal paperwork stuff. Anyway, here is our buddy the Black Lion. Now, I do like this guy, and I like his design. I do think he looks a little cheap, kind of like the other ones, but that could be a personal thing. But I have to say, I don't know why I just turned him to the side and then started talking again with no motion. But anyway, I'm really distracted in this one, guys. This might be a weird one. I might be pulling out heavyweights and Catch That Kid references. Here's your reward for robbing our bank. Anyway, I do kind of prefer, in a way, the classic lion designs of the four that I reviewed yesterday. You know, red, blue, green, and yellow, because I think they're more distinctive. And the new one definitely looks like an update of the Black Lion here, but I do kind of prefer the new Black Lion a bit. Not that I hate this guy, but I think I prefer the new four, or the old four, and the new one for this guy, if that makes any sense. I don't think I'm making any sense in this review, guys. Should I do more Catch That Kid references? Anyway, so this guy's kind of like the meat and potatoes of it all, because, I don't know, that's a weird one. Again, I'm weird. What am I doing? Anyway, because he's going to form Voltron for us, and he has the sounds in him. That sounded weird too for some reason, but I'm just making it sound weird. But just look-wise, he does look good, but there's just something that looks a little cheaper to me than, like, the new Black Lion. And as you can see there, as I mentioned in the previous Lion review, I have those QC issues. And again, I didn't do this. This was right out of the box, which is super annoying, especially when you buy all of them and you have this whole set you've spent money on, and then you have issues like that. Again, unless they're going for that authentic, played with by 80s kids look. But yeah, you can open his mouth, which is obvious because, you know, you're going to have the helmet there. Spoiler alert! Anyway, and his little ears are going to come out too, which we also know, as well as these. And you got the tail, and you got some movement here because of transformation. And you can move his head a little bit so you get some personality, which I always appreciate. So yeah, standard fare, you get the picture of the look of him. Now there's an on-off switch right here. I wish it was placed elsewhere, like, honestly I think somewhere right here, that'd be kind of weird, but just, or even like back here or something, just here, it's just so obvious here, it bothers me. You don't get any kind of confirmation or anything like that. So that's a thing. I'm going to use this button here on the side, and I'm going to cycle through some of his noises. He's also going to make distinct noises when he's together, and also ones that are distinct to when you plug in the various arms and legs, because there's like little buttons. Right? I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show it more later. But yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be able to show every sound. I mean, I might, but I'm just saying that because they're kind of on a random-ish cycle, so it would just take forever. But you're going to get the picture. Underwears. So let's do it. It also has lights, which are under here, which we'll see when I flip them over. That sounded weird. I mean like when we transform them. Let's just get on with it.
The galaxy is about to be secure. Form Voltron! Form Voltron! They'll soon be defeated by Voltron!
Will they, though?
Defender of the universe!
Will they, though? Will they, though?
Activate laser blades!
It sounded more like a clock, if we're going to be honest.
We will defend this planet!
Will you, now? The voices in this are honestly so dorky. And
Lotor, your evil forces will never defeat us!
God, I almost want to beat you up.
Hagar's Robeast is about to have a bad day!
Are they? Sorry, it's just they're such dorky voices.
Form Voltron!
Okay, let's do it. So that's what I call good enough. He's telling us to form it. Okay, so where do I want to start? Let's do this. See, look, boom, oh, scratches. So these you basically just fold down because these are going to slide into the other legs like slippers or like thigh-high boots. That's a weirder example. Okay, and then these are really easy. Just fold them up and out, basically. Kablammy. I went off screen a little bit. They're like little rabbit ears. But yeah, so that way you can hide the tail away. I might accidentally hit the button no fewer than 15 million times. Now this is super easy. You just open these panels up and you store them up here. It feels a little bit simpler than the other one, which makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you can tell just by the way I'm talking about certain things, but full disclosure, I did not get into Voltron until the new series. That introduced me to the world of it. I mean, I knew of its existence and like general looks and stuff, but I just The new one got me into it, and that probably makes people mad because, you know, original fans and nostalgia fans. I really like how easy that is, and I like how that lines up. Like, not that the other one was confusing when you lined it up, but just this makes it a clear panel, and I don't know, I just like that. Just leave me alone. I'm simple. All right, I'm going to do the face last because that's what I said. All right, now we got the other lions, and we're going to put them on. So it's super simple. Fold this up, and you basically finagle these so they're going to, and I might have to finagle a little bit more, but so they create like a stable like leg. And then these also just kind of fold in on themselves. Super easy. Fold their tails away. Oh, this isn't one of the push ones. All right, and you can see here there's like a little garage port. That's where this is gonna go. And there's little buttons here that are gonna pick up when you transform it, so.
Come on, team. Let's get out of here fast.
That's for when you like release it.
Yellow Lion, leaping into action. Nice try. See you later.
I'm just doing it now.
Mega thrusters fully charged. Let's go.
Because
that was some great teamwork.
there's a variety, so I'm trying to get a couple of them knocked out.
Team, let's get out of here fast. Yellow Lion, leaping into action.
Okay,
that was some great teamwork.
That's good enough, so we'll slide it in there. There we go, see?
Is that you? Where are you?
It's not Pidge, you idiot. Anyway, when you want to release it, just press this button. You can, like, mostly yank it off with force, but you're going to need this to fully do it. And I just recommend pressing that button just for safety's sake. You don't want to break this. But yeah, I'm just going to do that so that you can see some of the variety of sound. This looks weird, like I'm like, can you feel this? That was weird. But so you can see some of the variety of sounds without me having to yank the leg on and off, and I probably won't do that as much with the arm.
Blue Lion, coming in. United we stand. United we stand.
You can count on Voltron. That was some great teamwork.
Okay.
United we stand.
Yes, we do. All right, now let's do this. Super, super, super easy. Like, it's really self-explanatory how you do it. You can do it, like, intuitively. All right, now we'll be able to stand him. Let me just straighten this out a smidge. Or a Pidge. No? Okay. But just so that we can stand him now.
Blue Lion, coming in.
Looking good, looking good. That's what's up, that's what's up, that's what's up. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And he's a little bit unstable. Actually, that clicked nicely just because he doesn't have the arms on, but man, this puppy is tall. This puppy who is also a lion. Okay, now, I'd like stand up and frame here. These are super easy too. Just slide in. Like this. Oh, let's just do it off frame. Can you hear the clicking, guys? But yeah, you can see. Just super easy. Sorry, I have to like hold this up at a weird angle and I'm not used to that. It's my own fault. And I could fix it, but I'm stubbornly sticking to my guns. Okay, and then pull this out, and it's a little bit blurry. And then they go in right here. I'm sure you saw the little plug holes. That sounded weird, but...
Set to go, Keith.
Oh, we're ready to go, guys. Let's do it.
Okay, but then what's nice here, press this button, and they release...
Come on, team. Let's get out of here fast.
So much easier than the original release of the Legendary Defender one.
Armed for battle.
Off on for battle, guys.
On board, Pidge.
Anyway, I just really appreciate that, that these release easier. If you recall from my review, anybody else's review pretty much, or just owning the Legendary Defender one, the arms were a pain to get out. I still have not taken mine apart because I want to display them individually just because I didn't want to deal with that. Okay, so yeah, that is so much nicer. I literally, like, at one point when I was doing review prep for it, I just held it down with my foot, which is not really advised, but that's what I did. I think, am I supposed to go the other way with this one? No, I just put the feet wrong. I was like, I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, but yeah, I appreciate how much easier that is. That's probably one of the highlights of this for me, just because, wow, that was obnoxious. All right.
Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlocks. Dynatherms connected. Infracells up. Mega thrusters are go. Form feet and legs. Form arms and body. And I'll form the head. Go, Voltron.
Wait, I have the sword right here. Oh, also, speaking of the sword, this guy just fell. That happened. I'm leaving that in because it's amazing. I think I put up a little annotation, but I did forget to show off the sword and the shield, which come with green and red, even though I just said green and red, but I meant red and green. But that was mainly because I was waiting for this. So, yeah, so I'm sorry I didn't show that off in the review for these guys.
Great teamwork.
Guys, I'm just putting the sword in. Let's settle it down. This is what it's like to have 80s inspirational characters following you around.
Form Voltron.
So there you got the sword.
Interlocks.
I-
Dynatherms connected. Infracells up.
I'm just activating the sword.
Go.
Settle it down,
Form
dude.
feet and legs. Form arms and body. And I'll form the head. Go Voltron.
We got the shield. Pretty
When you're
basic.
ready.
I'm just going to talk over you, guy. So that is what I'm going to do for now, just to make it easy. Because I want to get like an overall pan of this guy. And he's not really that unstable, just a smidge, or again, just a pidge. But it's just because of the way I have him. But yeah, there you can see is fully formed 1984 Voltron. And he does look pretty good. I'm very pleased with it, much like I was the Legendary Defender one. I think it looks really good. I think in some ways he looks a little bit more well-proportioned than the Legendary Defender one, just in toy form, like he looks a little slender, but it could just be me. But I think overall, those little smudges and stuff aside, it's looking pretty good. I'm very happy with it. It's a very impressive feat. Again, unlike the Power Rangers Combiner Megazord, this and the Legendary Defender one is how you do a combiner like this, where you can buy them individually and have at least a pretty decent product and then put them together and have this really nice thing. I honestly still would love to see just a fully formed articulated figure version, much like we got with Legendary Defender, because I think that would be neat, but it's not perfect, but it's pretty cool. My main complaint about this, honestly, is the little smudges in there, because it just takes away from what's honestly a pretty nice toy. Again, it's not perfect. There's little nitpicks I have about the details and the feel and stuff like that. But for the most part, especially considering some of the other stuff available from other companies, this is pretty cool. This doesn't really have anything to do with the toy itself, but I do kind of prefer the newer Sword and Shield personally to this one. And in a second, I'm going to bring in the original, not the original. I keep calling it the original because it's the original toy to come out, but Legendary Defender, just so you can see them side by side. But as you saw there, you can get some articulation by moving that around. You get the articulation that's afforded to you by this. I'm just going to leave this out. I know there's like a slightly different way to put that into, but like by if you snap this little piece into the mouth, so that it stays stable, but I just don't want it in there right now. And the legs also give you good articulation.
That got him.
Did it though, guy? But you get some good articulation there, so you can get some pretty good poses. You just got to be careful to make sure that he's stable.
Form Voltron.
My God.
Activate interlocks. Dynatherms connected.
Nope. Ha, stopped you. Okay, but we will press the button a few times just to get a couple extra noises that aren't that.
Pitch, talk to me. Are you hurt? No, I can handle it.
Oh my God.
We've got to hang on somehow.
I trust you, Keith.
Activate laser blades. We've got to hang on somehow. Pitch, talk to me. Are you hurt? I'd be hurt if you didn't ask.
Oh my God.
Activate laser blades. You got it, Keith.
You got it, dude. Oh my God, Michelle was in
Let's
Voltron?
put him out of business. Yeah, with Voltron.
Let's put him out of business.
Let's form blazing sword. Yes, that got him. Activate laser blades. Yeah.
Okay, you get the picture with that. Now I'm going to bring in the Legendary Defender. We got both in here. He's a little bit scrunched down because his feet are kind of funnily squished, and his wings and stuff aren't out. But there you see them side by side. I'm honestly not sure which design I like better. I think that I prefer the all-together version still for this guy, but for the combined one, I think this guy stands out a little bit more. This one feels a little bit higher quality for me for some reason, and I like the little bit more intuitive way that the legs transform where they just completely hide. But I think this one looks pretty good, and in some ways I think is a proportionate improvement over the Legendary Defender release. So I think it's honestly pretty cool. I dig it quite a bit. And sorry if things were a bit wonky. These are always a bit tricky reviews to do just because of the space and stuff, but I appreciate you sticking out with me. Before I get to the final verdict, I did just want to point out you do have head articulation as well. You can move this up and you can move it to the side, which is just nice. See, it just adds a little bit of personality. He's like heroically looking off to the side. Really appreciate that. Overall, this is an imperfect but neat set of lions. I think if you're a fan of the 1984 series or the designs, I think that there's a lot to enjoy here. Again, there's some imperfections, and I know there's like a bunch of different versions and some collector's versions and stuff, but I think there's just some solid but imperfect versions that I do quite enjoy. I just really wish they didn't have those QC issues. That's honestly my main problem. A lot of the other stuff that I have nitpicks about I can live with, but the QC things just really bother me, and I hope that they fix that in the future, and I hope those of you that are picking these up don't have to have very many of those, and if you do, like that they're more minor. Like this really bothers me. Maybe I'll get some paint to fix it, but I shouldn't have to do that. Anyway, that's about it. Until the next review, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's Awesome Rider, signing out.